Today's video is gonna be me explaining how I learned about spirituality and how I got into manifestation, law of attraction, law of assumption. Let's get into it. And let me start off by saying I didn't even know what spirituality meant, okay? I had to search up a little definition, search videos and videos on YouTube to see what spirituality meant, and I just got weird videos at that time, okay? I think it was like 2018 or 2017, around that time. I didn't get an exact definition of spirituality. I didn't know how to define it. I didn't know what it was. And let me start off by saying also that my manifestation journey did not start off by watching The Secret or by reading the book The Secret. It did not start off that way at all. Like most people talk about. Most people say that, oh yeah, I read The Secret. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's not how I started manifesting. Manifesting for me, I learned through Leora Alexandra, okay? It's honestly a super long story how I got into spirituality. I think I was always a spiritual child. Honestly, when I was little, my first introduction of spirituality was all the bad side. So the fact that I got into good side was actually good. I learned about like spirits, energies, like black magic. That's like, I didn't learn it. Like I was just like kind of into that experience. I would just tune into what my family would be talking about and seeing like on TV. And it's not because my family is doing black magic, is because, you know, someone probably doing it, and some of my members in my family, they're not actually doing it, but someone's doing it on my members. So that's how I got introduced, because I used to just hear conversations like, oh, this stuff is happening, this stuff's happening because of this. Like that's how I learned about black magic, and I knew about it. It's just through simply just learning, because, you know, okay, let me tell you guys, if you have kids, or if you're gonna have kids can hear and understand everything. Like no matter what age they are, at least I could. Like no matter what you're talking about, we pick up on it. Like our brains are like sponges. So when you're a kid and you hear your parents or families talking about certain things, like different situations, like that stuff absorbs. That is memory. Those type of stuff creates core memory. So like make sure be aware of what you're saying around kids, or your kids are like you kind of meet, because the kids, they know what you're talking about. Like they're not dumb. They may not understand exactly in the moment, but they can hear and they remember that. So just be aware, because I just know all that because when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure I blocked off my third eye when I was a kid, because I was like kind of like sitting around like my family watching like horror movies and stuff, and like them talking about like I literally, like one of my family friend, they used to talk about like a spirit story that they had when they were a kid, and I was just a kid. I was just playing with my toys and stuff, so I was just listening to what they were saying. And they were saying how like when they were little they saw a spirit and this, and I literally used to cover my ears. Like I don't know why, I just thought it was so bad. Like I couldn't handle it. Like, and they just looked at me like, what? Like, do you even understand what we're saying? Like, I understand what they were saying, okay? And it probably made me block with my third eye and not be open to like spirits in general, because I'm just kind of like in that fear mentality of not being being scared of wanting to interact with spirits and stuff. But you know, I'm not at that level. I'm slowly building up to that level, honestly, getting like my mind expanded, whatever. And let me tell you, the first time I learned about death was through that same family friend. Well, the first time I learned about death, I was probably maybe like in 4 or 5 years old, maybe 6 years old, I don't know. But like when my mind exploded, I couldn't understand the concept of people physically that are here just not being there anymore. It made no sense to me. I was like, what? Because I was looking at like my family friends kind of parents or whatever, and she was just showing me like her album. I'm like, where are they now? And they were like, they're gone, they're dead. I'm like, what? That was the first time I ever heard death. I didn't know what death was. I had no concept of what death was. I was like, they're just not there anymore, like they're just gone. And then after I left her house, I was just sitting in my house, just like pondering, zoning out, and going into deep thought on like death, just thinking about like having thoughts about my family members and like stuff like, so they're not gonna be here like physically anymore. Like I just couldn't understand that, okay? That's like one early child memory that I still remember. But anyway, let me tell you like the first time I like kind of became a conscious spiritualist, because all those like memories, there's also another memory that I kind of know that now I realized that I was like spiritual, but like I was not a conscious spiritualist. I was still like unconscious, like consciously practicing all these spiritual ideas that we practice today, but I didn't know I was spirituality. I didn't know what spirituality meant. As I said, spirituality, I had no definition of it, okay? I just knew that I didn't like practicing my religion. Now, there's nothing wrong with practicing my religion, okay? And my religion that I was growing up in is actually now something that a lot of people is like very tied in with spirituality now that I think about it. But growing up, I did not like going to temple at all. I absolutely hated being tied down to rules. I was like, okay, maybe most of the reason I didn't like going is because like my Wizard 101 time was being used up. You know, I couldn't play Wizard 101 that day, so because I was forced going to temple. But okay, it's not just that. I didn't like the vibe of the temple, okay? People are nice, people are cool, whatever, but like I just feel like it's not necessary for me to go. Like I didn't like religion. I didn't like the rules, limitations of religion when I was little. So I just knew that, but I didn't think I was like but anyway, okay. But then I was just confused, like, because when I was little, I remember like watching this like other movie. It was like this like one line stuck with me. It's not like an American movie, by the way, but it was like one line stuck with me, which was like, why do we have to go to temple to be with God when God is already within us? What, like your universe or whatever? Okay, but I like calling it universe, but that line from the movie was like, why do we always have to go to a temple to be with God when God is already within our heart and stuff, right? And I was pretty young when I heard that, and that never clicked with me at that moment. But like, now I just keep hearing that, like, why do we have to go somewhere else when we're already the universe within us? Like the universe is already within us. We're already source energy. Like we already embody all that. Why do we need to go somewhere else? But you know, I kind of have a different view on that now. Like I'm like, yeah, we can go to somewhere else because then we meet like-minded people and stuff like that. But I don't like the limitations. But yeah, you know, okay, universe is inside of us. We don't need to go outside to an outside source in order to connect with it when we already can connect with it right now. So that's what I was thinking. But back to when I kind of became conscious spirituality, and it all started with Mandela effects. I learned about Mandela effects when I was in 8th grade, so probably like 14-15-year-olds, and I probably was on YouTube, like as I always am, and I just went through like a rabbit hole of Mandela effects. I was like, what is Mandela effects? Like, what is this? Like, I need to know. Like, and when I learned about Mandela effects, like instantly my mind opened. Like my life was never the same after I learned about it. Like I kept, like, my mind expanded, and not only just Mandela effects, conspiracy theories really opened my mind for no reason. Like I kept thinking about, oh my god, like the government's so messed. Like that kind of made me think whatever we know right now, whatever we're kind of conditioned to believe, is not what it is, and there's more than that. There's more corruption, there's more evil in this world than we think. And now the government doesn't want our highest good at all. They want the opposite. That's what I learned about conspiracy theories, and childlike mind self blew up. I'm like, wait, this isn't the world. My mind kept expanding. And the person whose channel I watched all these videos on is Shane Dawson, and I know he's a super controversial figure. I don't watch him anymore, but I used to watch only his conspiracy videos and his Mandela effect videos because they were so good. And everyone around me, I used to tell them about them. Like, have you seen this? They're like, oh, it's too scary, it's too scary. I'm like, okay, it's not that. Like, as a person who's scared of horror movie, scared of everything, it didn't scare me. It actually fascinated me even more. Like, as I said, I don't like horror movies. I don't watch horror movies. I don't like spirit animals. Like, I don't like that stuff. I don't like horror movies at all. So the fact, like, it's conspiracy theories, not like, it's just, and I know they're not fact, they're conspiracy, whatever, but to me they felt real in the moment as well. They felt like, oh my god, truth, this is the real truth. I'm getting real true tea. Like, it made me really think how messed up like our like 3D reality is. Government, aliens, Illuminati, like all this fun stuff. Like, aliens are real. I already knew that. I never even questioned that aliens are real. They are real. I never questioned that. And it maybe like it started making me question, like, what even is life? Why is life so serious? Why can't life be fun? There has to be more to this life. It can't be just all corrupt and boring. Like, all these questions just kept flooding my mind all in 8th grade. These thoughts were flooding my mind. I was getting into more like spirituality. Like, I was also searching up like videos on Aaron Dowdy's channel, Ralph Smart's channel. In 8th grade, I discovered him, learning about the third eye, learning about like vibration. And back then, those videos made zero sense to me. I was like, what the heck are they even talking about? I don't get it at all. So that's why I don't really mind when other people don't get what I'm saying, because maybe they're in the point in their life where they won't make sense, and those words will just bounce right off because they're not in the vibration of understanding. They're not seeking that information. They don't need that information, so it's not going to make sense to them. To me, at that time, it was not making sense at all. Like, what are they even talking about? Okay. As I was learning about that type of stuff, I got introduced into more stuff, which led me into the world of manifestation, okay, which was subliminal. I do have a video like explaining my subliminal story, like also like it's like a whole big thing as well, but like basically subliminals led me into learning about law of attraction and law of assumption, and eventually law of assumption. And it was all due to people in the comments sections of the subliminal videos. Like, I always used to see people comment like, you should use law of attraction, you can get whatever you want. Like, honestly, learning about subliminals made, like, I wasn't as mind blown about it as I was with Mandela effects conspiracy theories, because subliminals is like, oh wait, you can change anything in reality just by listening to audio. At first I thought it was really odd, of course, like as anyone would, but after that, I was like, oh wait, this is so cool. I kind of wanted to limit myself. So I think that's another limiting belief that I started to have, is like, wait, am I allowed to be this powerful? Am I allowed to create anything I want? Because wait, I can like, just by listening to this audio, can have like perfect eyes, perfect skin, intelligence, increased beauty, money. I can just have that, all of that, just by listening to the audio. And I felt like I was limiting myself back then. I was like, wait, is this even possible? Is this even like, should I even unlock all my power like that? But then I kind of got over that, and I kind of like learned about like oh, by the way, and with learning with subliminals, I tried telling people, and this is like another moment which really hit me and realized like not everybody's gonna understand what you're going through right now. So it's probably the start of my gatekeeping era, like gatekeeping what I know, because like people just did not understand. I was like, guys, you can just listen to this audio and, you know, I can have a flat stomach. And they were just like, okay, cool, good for you, yeah. Because I was not a great gatekeeper for real. I did not want to be a gatekeeper, but you know, that era made me want to be a gatekeeper after that. But like, because I should have been a gatekeeper, because, you know, they thought I was weird for that. And I only mentioned it once to my two close friends, and I never mentioned it again after they didn't really try to ask me more questions about it. So I'm like, okay. And I told 2 more people because they were freaking complaining about their facial features and about themselves. I'm like, girl, let me put you on some subliminals, because like you can't be complaining about yourself like that. Because their close stories were just filled with complaints. Oh, I'm like this, I'm like that, I'm like that. I'm like, girl, let me give you some subliminals. And I give them a nice long list of like tips and tricks that I learned from comment section. I just put into my own knowledge and research into it at that time. And I just gave them all that, and I gave them all these tips, tricks, and even subliminal suggestions as well, and booster suggestions, like my whole personal tips and guide. I gave them all that. And you know what these people did? Okay, they never followed through with anything I said. My advice, nor the subliminals, nor nothing. And they still complain. They just love complaining. People love complaining. They don't want to accept solutions. They don't want to be open to solutions. They want to try. They just want to keep staying in their miserable state and don't change anything about it. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to be hateful to these people. They're good people, but I'm just saying, people are people. So, you know, you do your best and don't take hard feelings. You know, you do your best to give your advice, but if they don't change, that's on them. I did tell one girl, however, and she actually said she liked it and she worked, but I don't know if she uses them now, but that was actually cool. One girl did, I did tell, and it did work. In the same summer of like transitioning from 8th to 9th grade, so like 14, 15 years old, okay, I discovered Stargirl the Practical Witch, which I absolutely love. Like, I didn't really watch her tarot videos at first. I mostly watched her like law of attraction videos. I learned about star seeds at that time. I learned about indigo, rainbow children. I learned about all that stuff around that time. And she actually inspired me to learn scripting. She had a scripting video as well. So because of her, I started a scripting journal and started writing up the same affirmations. Like every day, I would be committed to writing out my affirmations every single day, like 50 times. Like every single day, that's what I would do. But now I know, you know, our techniques keep upgrading, learning. It's just really nice to see how like you evolve as like a conscious person, spiritualist, manifestor, whatever. Basically, people in the comments were talking about scripting, law of attraction. So I searched up law of attraction videos, and then I was like just scrolling, and then I didn't really feel like watching anything on it. I was like, oh, maybe I did watch one video. It was like, your thoughts attract your reality, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I didn't really get into that much. But then on my recommended page, I had Leora Alexandra's scripting video. Then that's how I found Leor. But like, when I watched Leor's scripting video, I was kind of taken aback by her energy. I was like, girl, why is she so bubbly, energetic, and like I just couldn't stand. Like I was just not in the energetic state to like receive what she was saying. So I kind of didn't stop watching her video, and like the video just kept recommending. Like it kept showing up. Scripting video just kept popping up on my recommended. Like I just wouldn't leave me alone. It kept coming and popping up until I finally watched the whole thing. I was like, okay, wait, I actually like this. So then I started practicing her scripting video, and I subscribed to her too because I liked her content, and I signed up for her email newsletter where I got her like really cool, like really interesting emails, and I started watching all her content. I was obsessed with her content, and even now I have like 2-3 of her courses, her like breathing workshop, her shadow work course. I have like that, her shadow work course. I have her breathing. I have like a couple of her courses now, and I even have her bliss amulet from her jewelry line, which I wear all the time, almost every day. And I love it. I love Leor. Like she's my favorite person ever. And then Leor was a bit later, but I was still watching Stargirl along with her. And then I was introduced to tarot from her, of course. But then I didn't watch tarot at first because I was like, I create my reality. I don't need tarot to tell me how and what my reality should be. I don't want it to predict anything. What if it scares me? What if it's fear-mongering or all that? And I need to go back to that mentality, because since I started watching tarot videos, like since those years, I've just been too obsessed because they're actually so fun. I don't know why I don't want to rely on them anymore, but I know every time I subscribe to so many tarot channels, and when they come up on my subscription feed, I have to watch them. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry, I have to watch them because they're super fun, and I like listening to like other people's perspective on my life. Like, I know tarot is just like, it's not accurate prediction, it kind of gives you like the current energetic state of which your life is kind of heading in. But you have the power to change that, of course. You create your reality. So it is true. It is true. You do create your reality. But the tarot does give you insight into like maybe what patterns or limits you're still kind of being like, you know, constricted in, and how you can like improve that. I need to stop for real though. I need to stop for real watching tarot videos. So tarot, love, Leo, love, Dark Girl, the Practical Witch, love. And then around 9th grade, around winter break, I discovered Psychic Kids series. So you know how I was talking about how I hated like black magic spirit stuff? I watched a whole series on this type of stuff where kids who have these like very powerful psychic powers, and there's like a guy who's like an older like psychic, and he tried to help come to like be able to control their spiritual powers and get rid of any energies in their house that may be blocking them. So it was pretty scary at times, I'm not gonna lie, that show, but it was all on YouTube, so I just watched like videos on there. It was pretty interesting. I really like. And then after that, I also got into Aaron Doughty and Ralph Smart's videos back again because of Leo, because Aaron and Leo were kind of collabing and stuff, and I got into Isabel Palacios back then, and they kind of like everything just kind of unfolded. Like all the people that I follow now all started because back then I kept following and learning, and being, even now I keep finding more and more people that I learn from every single day. I learn something new. I learn from people. I love learning. Remember I said how I like watched those third eye videos and like everything? I watched all those videos back then, but then after that they made sense, total sense to me. I was like, wait, why didn't I understand this back then? And now they make so much sense to me. So we truly aren't ready sometimes to receive the information that we want. Like we think that we're ready for it, but maybe we're not. Learning and evolving and growing, and we'll be ready for it eventually. Also, the same time in 9th grade, I was taking global studies. In global studies, we learned about all the different religions and what makes them different from each other. At that moment, I had a huge epiphany about religion. I was like, wait, it's all the same, essentially. Like, why is there all this division? Like, everyone has a singular same purpose. We're going through the same purpose. We're just like, this. We go to the same purpose. And there's like so many similarities with one another. I'm like, why are they even fighting with each other? Like, why can't we all be friends? And this similar epiphany is the same one I had when I was like 4 or 5 years old as well. I was staring at this image of like all these like gods together in one image, and it says we are one. So it says something like that, we are one. And that made so much sense to me at the moment when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was just staring at a picture. I was like, why can't everyone be friends? Like, it's so cool to like Jesus and like Krishna and like this and God, like Buddha and like all this. I'm like, wait, like why can't we all just be friends? Like, it's like a party here. It's so much fun. Like all these gods here, and like, you know, I love it. Like, why can't we all be one? So that same epiphany hit me back in 9th grade. I was like, oh yeah, we are, like, everything is just the same essentially. And I also learned about agnostic and atheist because I didn't know what to just call myself. I was like, I don't really want a religion. But then I learned agnostic and atheist. Agnostic is when you're unsure about a god, you know, you're kind of in the middle. And atheist when you believe there's no god, no nothing. And I was kind of debating, like, which one am I? And, you know, am I atheist? Am I agnostic? Because, yeah, I told you, like, I was never really fully immersed into religion, you know, when I grew up. It was never my thing, I never understood why, the purpose or whatever. And, you know, it just all seemed like fake to me. But now I really come to appreciate my religions once again. But still not wanting to be fully part of it, not wanting to commit to the religion, but I'm just appreciate it from afar, because a lot of those practices, you know, I learned growing up, like from my mom's mom, my, you know, nanny or whatever. You know, it's just all coming back to me, like all the stuff she used to said, kind of tying to spirituality, what I stuff now. Like, she used to teach me to like say positive things about, like, hold your pinky, or have like a list of stuff to read every morning, like positive things, that you are healthy, you are beautiful, you're strong, you're smart, and like say that out loud. Or I didn't understand that back at the time. I was like in 5th grade, so maybe 9 years old. She used to tell me all these things. I didn't really understand it, and then it all clicked with me when I got back into spirituality. I was like, wait, this is all the same thing. Annie, she's pretty knowledgeable about this stuff, and a lot of spirituality ties into what I'm like. A lot of stuff she says it also ties into what I'm doing as well. So it's kind of funny how everything just comes back, and even you hate stuff at first, but then it all just comes back into like motion. You know, it all comes in circle. Label of being religious, even though being spiritual is a label too as well. I did realize that, but when I think of spiritual, I think of freedom. So that's why I kind of like that label more than being tied to a religion. That's what I started learning about spiritual. I was like, what is spiritual? Am I spiritual? And then I just searched up the definition, and eventually I just wanted to learn the logical sense of what spirituality was, but I don't think I forgot that. I don't remember if I ever got the definition, but I'll tell you now that to me, spirituality is just about freedom of expression, and embodying, aligning the best version of yourself that it can be with the experiences, circumstances that you are in, and making the most of it. You know, living your life to the fullest, going back to your childhood self, and, you know, just being free from the limitation of the mind. You know, and just be limitless. Limitless. And I was getting into spirituality manifestation. I was doing it all by myself. Like, there was no one to talk to about it. I was like doing everything in my phone notes, journaling. I started journaling again after hating journaling. I didn't, because I love writing. I love writing, honestly. But what made me stop it was back in middle school when, like, my friends around me, they were like, oh, I hate writing, I hate reading. But then it got all back into that back after I was kind of like with myself again. I was like, I need to read, I need to write, I need to write everything out. I need to read more, I need to learn more. So just trying my techniques myself, and it worked. You know, there's a lot of fun moments with doing this, but even though it was all by myself, I did wish I had a community around me or like a friend to talk to, but I never did, and still am open to friends that are into this. But you know, online community, that's where I found most comfort in, because I especially like TikTok, Instagram, you know, YouTube, that's where I find comfort in, because I know there's a lot of people like they're going through the same things as me. So I'm not alone. You know, as I'm getting law of attraction, I was like, oh, this is not really working anymore. Like, I don't know, I'm not really about the high vibe. I always felt like I had to be someone else in order to be high vibe, and then I kind of felt lazy about it. I was like, wait, maybe I can't manifest because there needs to be a perfect moment, perfect time in order for me to be high vibe. I can't be high vibe. I can't be high vibe. Like, and then I got into spirituality and law of attraction. It was kind of getting too woo-woo for me. Like, I wasn't able to like apply it into right now. I was like, it felt too out there for me. It felt like it's not really relatable for me anymore to like practice this, because I'm just like, it just feels like something outside of me. It doesn't feel that like logical to me, because I still need that logical, scientific aspect. So then I found Roxy Talks. Like, Roxy Talks, her videos were also on. There's so many people where their videos were on my recommend pages for a long time, but it took me a while of getting over doubts and like skepticism, and then I finally clicked on the videos. Then I was like, mind blown. That was Roxy Talks, which Roxy Talks I absolutely love. I don't know why she's super underrated, but I love her more. Sammy and Girl. Okay, I love Sammy and Girl. I found her recently though, like it's a couple months back. I didn't find her that it's only because everyone was obsessing over her. That's why I finally started watching her, but mostly for me it was Roxy Talks, because both of them have similar-ish vibes, but Roxy Talks mostly not just focuses on like tough, like her videos, why they clicked with me instantly and they gave me a new fresh vibe to manifesting is because her tough love, like the way she speaks everything out, it just hits me, because I'm so used to manifestation YouTubers, law of attraction YouTubers that were making everything more soft and subtle, and it's okay if you do this, it's okay. Roxy was like, no. Roxy was like, nope, change your mind, change your thoughts, change your reality, or you know, live a life of dread. I mean, she didn't say that aggressively, but the way she said her words just helped me click and get into manifestation once again, because I was like, wait, this is easy, this is easy, this is easy. Gotta change my mind, gotta change my thoughts, gotta change my mind, gotta change my thoughts. I still consume her content like almost every day because I love her vibe, I love her, she's amazing. Yeah, and maybe I should make a whole video on all the, because like generally my spirituality journey just evolved with all the people that I found. So maybe I'll make a whole video on like why like these like certain people just changed my life. Like I just want to make a video appreciating all of them, okay? But yeah, then like I know there's so much to talk about. Like, so like with my spirituality, I became, you know, in love with crystals. I got my like first crystals like a few years ago, and everything was before the whole TikTok rise, by the way. I just want to say that the OG-ish. Oh yeah guys, around that time, like 8th grade, 9th grade, the time I was learning about spirituality, meat became super distasteful for me. Like I never was into meat that much in the first place. Like we only used to eat it pretty casually, like maybe once every other few weeks, but not daily. But meat and dairy, like I became vegan for 2 months and when I was in 8th grade. Like, it was like I learned about veganism at the same time as that as well, and I did that. Now I'm just fully vegetarian, mostly plant-based. I would say I try to consume dairy less, dairy, eggs. I don't really eat eggs either, but I'm vegetarian now, and like that was like around the same time I discovered Mandela effects conspiracy theories. Like, meat just became super not desirable for me at all. So everything just kind of tied in together. And, like, learned about chakras again, and you know, my family did notice that. They were like, you want to, like, I used to do everything super secretly, and I kind of still do today, but I'm still a little bit more open about it. So I keep so many journals. I started reading so many books, like The Alchemist, Power of Subconscious Mind. I'm reading it now. The Celestial Prophecy or something like that. There's so many books. I have a whole book. I'm creating a whole book list, honestly, for myself, and just kind of memorize it, putting it all in one place, so I kind of know like how my book taste also evolved and what I read. I started learning about astrology. I was always into, even in middle school, I was always into astrology, but I felt like there's something missing from it. Like the Western astrology, all the popular posts on Instagram, they just show you their sun sign. And I started learning about more topics, crystals, like everything. I just kept learning. All the information just kept unfolding. I kept finding the right people on the internet to listen to learn from. Even right now, I'm still learning and growing and expanding my knowledge daily, every single day. But right now, I also want to embody the idea, not just learning and learning, but also apply more into my life rather than just learning and learning, because, you know, the knowledge doesn't really go anywhere until you actually apply it into your life, right? So I'm doing my best now, so I'm just applying, testing, having fun with it, coming up with my own ways, because I appreciate all the people that I learn from, but also I want to have my own method and foundation into tuning into my own power and see what works for me the best. So also learning to apply, and hopefully I'm also hoping to find more like-minded individuals, which I can have talked to in person, not just online, because you guys, I know you guys are here. That's why I created this channel, is to just be able to express my thoughts on feelings on spirituality, manifestation, and hopefully have an audience that I can talk to about it. And you guys are here for me. I appreciate you guys so much. So that is my journey with spirituality, how I got into manifestation, law of attraction, love assumption. And so guys, that's all I have for today's video. I mean, I hope you guys like were interested in what I had to say. I know this is gonna be a really long video. I mean, I think it's gonna be like pretty long, but I hope you guys were like interested in learning about me, and there's just so much more I feel like I could have talked about, but I don't want to make this video like an hour long. I'll just continue, keep posting on this channel, keep growing, evolving, expanding, grow, glow, and expand your soul, right? So thank you guys for watching. You're enough, you deserve the best, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.